This is a talk about a virus, and I think I know what one you're thinking of. That's not the one. But first, I want to talk about something that's more dangerous: stigma. Stigma is a judgment of unworthiness. It comes from the word for mark, and it's a mark that's very difficult to remove. It runs deep in many cultures, and I think deep in the human psyche. People who stigmatize others get a feeling of righteousness from the act. In stigmatizing someone, they place themselves above them. They assert the power to assign shame. And in doing so, they get a little boost of pride. They get a feeling of being of higher status. Now, I want to invite you to think about something from your own life. Think about a time when maybe somebody made a wrong assumption about you, maybe a time when you said something that was, or maybe even only seemed stupid or insensitive, a time when you could feel other people judging you. I'm going to give you a second. Well, we all have our moments, and the last time that I did something like this was just a couple of days ago when I said something rather stupid in front of a group of really smart people. How did you react? I don't know about you, but I reacted by thinking, do I ever need to see these people again? Can I avoid them for the rest of my life? Now, I promised you a virus, and this is hepatitis C, a virus that can damage the liver. I'm going to call it Hep C. In BC, about 1.5% of people have or have had Hep C. It can kill you, but there's a really good cure. And that cure is covered by pharmacare in BC, which is really great for saving lives. But only about half of people who are diagnosed with Hep C actually take up the treatment. That's really important. I wanted to find out why not. So most people don't know this, but Hep C is a blood-borne virus. And nowadays, most people get it by sharing drug use equipment. So most people don't know that, but you know who does know that? People who work in healthcare. And that's why when someone is diagnosed with Hep C, many people start to feel the blame and stigma right there in the clinic. And for a lot of them, all they want to do is avoid that situation completely. But Hep C is deadly. Avoiding the situation can be fatal. So I set out to find a solution. I will talk to healthcare professionals in BC and find out what their experience is in treating people with Hep C. How do they see Hep C patients? Do they feel comfortable treating them? What are the challenges that they face? Now, we know that healthcare providers are supposed to treat everybody the same with respect. It's right there in the Hippocratic Oath. But the reality is, many people with a history of drug use have already felt stigmatized by healthcare workers, often even in the public areas of a clinic or hospital. I know this because I've been talking to them. I have a dynamic and insightful community partner, and we're interviewing people about their experiences in healthcare, the bad and the good. And we're talking to them about what made these experiences that way, where they felt respect and where they felt stigma. Then we pull out the concepts and link the ideas together so that we can understand better what makes a healthcare experience good and what makes one bad. Then some of the participants will get invited to get professional storytelling coaching to tell a story from their own lives. And this will not be a story about hospitals or Hep C or doctors or treatment. It will be about a time when they showed great strength or compassion. We're calling it Untold Stories of true strength. And toward the end of the story, when we're really on their side, when we want to see them acknowledged, there will be a voiceover about something that happened to them in healthcare. For example, when my doctor prescribed my Hep C treatment, she said, "You have one chance." Now think about it. What if it were you? What if you were getting some life-saving treatment, say heart surgery, and your doctor told you, "I'm going to do this operation, but you have one chance. You clog up these arteries, that's on you." How would you react? Would you be like me and think, "Do I ever have to see a doctor again?" Well, I realize that even doctors can say the wrong things, especially if they haven't been adequately prepared for situations like this in their tightly packed medical education. So I'm creating new learning materials for health professionals who treat hepatitis C in BC. These materials are centered around the experiences of people who are at high risk for Hep C. And each learning point will be pinned down by a story with an emotional punch, because that's how you change people. And we need those healthcare workers to change so that people want to get tested and treated for Hep C. Because for Hep C, where there is no vaccine, treatment is also prevention. We can beat Hep C when we turn stigma into respect. And that's the goal. That's how we can encourage people to get tested and treated, and we can do our part to wipe Hep C off the planet. Because when everyone is cured of Hep C, it's gone forever. That's it. That's my PhD project. Telling stories of true strength and curing stigma by treating people with respect. I'm Nance Cunningham, and thank you for listening to my